Welcome to the Handmade Daily. I've got a question for you. When you're busy working on your handmade creations, is it focused or is it just busy? Now, these are two really different places in which you can be operating in your handmade artisan business. And strangely, they can both kind of feel the same when you're doing it. And I'm doing that just like thinking about the sensation, right? Because I know for me, like graphics is an absolute rabbit hole for me. So when I'm working on graphics for the Made It platform, I can dive into this rabbit hole and I'm just like creating graphics. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to change this. Well, if I change this, I'm going to have to change all these other things. And it's just busy. It's not actually focused. Whereas when I've got a very clear list with me and I'm like, you know what, I need to work on the meetups today. I need to work on the process of how the host of the meetup is going to get notified, how artisans are going to be able to come along to the meetups. If you're interested in the meetups, check out the link below for the meetups as well. They're just phenomenal. But this is your check-in. The last time that you had like a really busy afternoon, was it focused action or was it just busy? And I was in a session with my coach just the other day, my business coach, and he's amazing, absolute legend in New Zealand, Nathan Frater, and he's from Backbone, incredible. Anyway, and he was talking about one of the things that we can't see like on a balance sheet, right? Which means that we can't quantify it or we can't put a price to it, is the cost that it takes to switch between tasks. And there's another video as well that I've done previously, which is about batching. And it's about how rather than kind of like going all over the shop and just doing lots of stuff, that you look at batching so that you can kind of bowl over a whole lot of work in one place. But it really made me think about the fact of, you know, when you're in your creative space and you're standing at your desk, right? Or at your table or whatever it is that it looks like for you. And you've got all of these projects kind of half done and you come into the space and you start just like busily trying to get everything done and you're just kind of all over the shop, not actually finishing stuff. You don't maybe have all the materials that you need. And that's where we start just getting that busyness. And when we can shift that and go into focused action, you'll be amazed at the change in results. And a couple of little things that might help you. I know they were really helpful for me, but sometimes putting a timer on can help. Have you heard of the Pomodoro strategy method? And it's actually used in writing, but it can apply everywhere, right? But it's like where you write for 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break, and you write again for 25 minutes, and goes on and on and on, right? Well, the same can happen like when you're in your creative space. It's like you go in with a list, a very clear list of the things that you need to get done, and you systematically start working on them, but work for 25 minutes and take a break. Now, the good thing is that when you're working for 25 minutes and you've got, you know, phones on Do Not Disturb, you've got all the notifications turned off and you're just working on the tasks that you've allocated, in that 5-minute gap afterwards, it means that you get a bit of that reflection time. So you can go, okay, hold on a second. This was what I thought I needed to be working on. What's coming up? Do I need to keep going with this? And often you'll find that you will. And I really want to kind of encourage you to, like, when you think you need to switch tasks, try and stay on task. If you're someone that doesn't really love doing social media, then that might be something that you kind of start and then you stop and you get distracted by, I want to make something instead. Now, I understand that, and we all know that making is the dream, right? It's making and creating that is the dream part. But it's the social media and the visibility and showing up and all those aspects that are going to help us to have more opportunity to make and create, if that makes sense. So this is just a really quick check-in today for the Handmade Daily. Go and have a look, notice tonight, tomorrow, or the next day, when you're in that really busy zone, is it focused action or is it busy? And what are some of the things that you default to, I would say as well? You know, before when I was saying about if you've got to get social media done and all of a sudden you're sort of like jumping into creating and making, just notice what your automatic default is. Because if you can start to notice the thing that you constantly sort of default to it means that you'll be able to notice more, which means that you'll be able to correct more. For me, it's two places. It's graphics and it's spreadsheets. When I'm creating super deep spreadsheets, I'm like, whoa, stop, hold on a second. What are you measuring and what for, right? What is the purpose? And it just really brings me back in to getting out my list and literally staying on track. So have a beautiful day wherever you are. I'm Lena. It's really great to connect with you. And I'll see you again tomorrow for the Handmade Daily.